I'd like to call this January 11th, 2021 Solid Waste District meeting to order. First thing on the agenda, if I had one in front of me,
Hang on a second.
would be roll call. I mean, that's probably can do that.
Hang on a second. It's back here.
Carl, I'll
I can pull mine
here,
up.
you go ahead and do roll call.
Roll call. Mark Myers,
Present.
Ron West, Kevin Walls,
Present.
Brian Baird,
Present.
David Lexi,
Present.
and Don Grant. Here we have a four.
Thank you. Well, the first order of business would be election of officers. Do I have a motion on the floor? Or somebody want to talk about that?
We can move to the full slate, can't we? We're
Yeah.
going to keep the full slate as is. Or keep it-
I agree.
We have a first and a second on the floor. Should I do this roll call with the,
Yes.
okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Baird,
Yes.
Mr. Leskey,
Yes.
Mayor Myers,
Yes.
and I vote yes. I didn't put you on the bubble being the deciding factor there. We have a full slate. You want to read those off to us, Dawn, so everybody knows their positions?
Carla?
Was Josh on any of those?
No, he was not. It was,
Commissioner
Mayor.
Walls, Carla, Commissioner Walls.
Yeah. Call her.
you call her Dawn. You call me anything you want to
What'd I
call me.
call you?
Dawn. You,
Sorry, Merle.
I'll answer, I'll
That's
answer.
okay. We got it figured out now.
The chairman would be Mark Myers, the vice chair would be Kevin Walls, and the secretary would be Ron West.
Okay. All right, we're seated. Dawn. That's a good one. I'll start calling you Dawn. Treasurer's report, Mr. Sherman.
Hey, you know.
See, you started something in 2021, you said it couldn't get worse.
True, true.
That's later.
You guys, sometimes we have to change who's on the bank record. You have in your packet, our check register from November the 7th through December 31. And then also from January 1st to January the 8th. I have all those vouchers here. If anyone has any questions, I can answer those for you. If not, I'd like to have a motion to approve those, please.
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
This McDaniel's tree service, maybe Jesse would be a little bit. What's that one for?
So that is our Christmas tree.
Okay,
Yeah, and
I thought you had tree trim, so no, we're good.
no, yeah, and unfortunately, they don't give us a quote until December and our budgets are due,
Okay,
May.
good.
I'll make a
Oh, yeah.
motion to accept.
Second.
We have a first and a second on the floor. Mr. Leskey, your vote.
Aye.
Mayor Myers,
Aye.
Commissioner Baird,
Aye.
and I, chair votes aye. So motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. We also have some line item transfers, if you would please, transferring recycle spots 53982, Christmas tree recycling 5384 in the amount of $100. Also, line item transfer from the office manager 5112 to deputy director 5111 in the amount of 12 cents. And a line item transfer from office manager 5112 to recycling supervisor 5117 in the amount of $2,681.45.
I would look for a motion on that or questions.
I move to approve the transfers as stated by Mr. Sherman.
Second.
First and a second on the floor. Mr. Leskey, what would be your vote on that?
Aye.
Mayor Myers,
Aye.
Mr. Baird,
Aye.
and I vote also aye. Motion carries 4-0.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda would be CAC committee.
They have obviously not met with where we're at with between COVID and not having a whole lot of programs going on. We do hope to have a Zoom meeting coming up here in the next month or so. I did speak to Shay Hartley today in regards to that. It's just very difficult because our CAC is an active board. They're not really a let's get together and meet board. So hopefully, you know, maybe come fall, we'll be meeting again on a regular basis and doing some programs.
Any questions? Seems to be none.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going from memory since I handed you my agenda, but did we approve the minutes from the last meeting?
No, we haven't.
Oh, we didn't.
No, I skipped it. I'll get back to it. You mean to go first?
Well, no, I just want to make sure we didn't forget, because I was going from memory.
Sorry, I was working kind of blind.
I know.
Okay.
Go if you want it, yeah.
I'm gonna kind of intercede this. We'll just do a vote on the approval of minutes from the November 9th, 2020 meeting.
So moved.
You have a first and a second on the floor. Mr. Valesky, what would be your vote?
It's Lexi, by the way. Aye.
What do I keep calling it?
Dawn,
He's having a rough day.
It's K before the S.
Lexi.
What do I call it? Lesky?
Lexi, yeah,
Lesky?
Yeah.
It's Lexi.
Lexi?
Lexi.
Yeah.
Okay, David.
Thank you.
Lexi.
No problem. Thank you.
We have Mayor Myers,
Aye.
Commissioner Baird,
aye.
Chair also votes aye. My name would be George today. Okay, director's report. Jesse?
So I do have to tell you that we had nothing but rave reviews on how well our meetings normally go from Rob Henderson, which is why the person coming onto the council was so excited. So maybe in March, we'll have this all figured out, because the past two have been very interesting. I was so excited hoping that Mr. Commissioner West was going to be here, because cardboard is up. So I knew he would be ecstatic about that. It has actually gone up about $25 a ton in the past 2.5 months, which is great. They really expected it to drop, because anytime we have an abundance, especially with Christmas and different things, it tends to go down, and it's continuing to shift up. So great news for us. We do intend to ship again at the end of this month. We're hoping we're more on that trajectory of shipping kind of every 6 weeks instead of every, 2.5, 3 months, which was what was happening with COVID. So we'll see what happens, and then hopefully we can move on and grow the program and see some bigger things for our cardboard program in the future. So that's exciting for us. The Talks Box, of course, closed in December. It reopens March 1st. We did see a large increase in material, considering we were only open for about 4.5 months. We literally hit almost the same budget that we normally would hit in an opening of 7.5 months. So that speaks volumes, literally, to what people were bringing in because they were home and able to clean out their garages and whatever else. So it will be very interesting to see where we land this year. My assumption is the program will just continue to grow. So we will obviously look at that as budgets come through for the 22 budget and see where we're at. Other than that, we have been working on whatever programming we can do that does not bring us directly in contact with the public, of course. So we've been adding the books to the various lending libraries, the free little libraries throughout the county. It's been a lot of fun. We go through, we take out those books that we know are not necessarily in the best shape or can be reused. I will say I wish I had thought to bring it in, but Carla made this great photograph book out of one of the books from the lending library that wasn't in the best of shape. And so it was really neat to even show an upcycled material from the lending library, really cool. And it's just been a fun thing that really a lot of people have appreciated. And the feedback on Facebook, because that's how we let people know where we've been, kind of here's some pictures, where were these type things, has really been great. So excited for that. Continue to reach out to partners wherever we can. We have spoken to some of the libraries to tell them that, we are available for Zoom programs. The one we hosted for Greenwood was very well received, and they've asked me to do one in spring again. So I do intend to do that. But anything that we can continue to do from that front is how we're reaching out. Of course, All of our social media, we've really been focused on that. And if you haven't been to our website recently, you'll realize that we have some new updates there as well. Much smoother, literally spent about 4 months tracking what people have been asking us for, the main questions, and really focused on that as we revise the website. So I feel that we've had a very good success with that. We're able to do pop-ups that they can't even get past until they get into the site, so that they can no longer say, this is nowhere, it's right there. So they still say it, but we know that it's not true. So we feel very good about that. We worked with the recycling center as well to see what phone calls they get or what questions they get. So we feel very positive about the results that we're seeing from that. As far as everything else, I'm gonna actually have Carla come up because she's gonna speak to you a little bit about that CARES grant reimbursement. I would have had that on the agenda, but it happened after the agenda came through. So I do believe that you have an Excel spreadsheet in regards to that, and then she can talk about the Christmas tree or something.
Okay, as far as the CARES Act reimbursement goes, I sent you a spreadsheet. We submitted $5,684.40. We had $425.55 in claims denied, and that gave us a deposit of $5,231.85, which I thought was pretty good percentage of what I submitted. The things that were not submitted were a truck rental and some gas that we had to purchase for the U-Haul that we had rented to get the hoppers Z-Bart coated. That is basically what was not covered, and some supplies for a meeting and the scheduling program for the talks box. So other than that, I tried to do a really good job of keeping track and using explanations as to why we purchased what we purchased. So, any questions about any of those?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, and then Christmas trees. This year, we did not use the fairgrounds because our trees sat exactly where the entrance for COVID testing would be. So we worked with Betsy, we called her and said, hey, what are your numbers? And we decided it would be best to use a different location here in Franklin. So we used the parking lot over at the Johnson County Shrine Club. They were nice enough to let us use their parking lot. So this year we did that. We only had a couple of days where trees were in oddball places. That site has been very clean. I would say that in Franklin, our numbers are really down with the trees, which kind of surprised me because they talked about how more people were getting real trees. Now, I've been known to get calls in March from people wanting to know what to do with their Christmas tree, which is a total different answer than I give them today. And I would say we only have about 100 trees here in Franklin this year, and normally we have 300 trees or so. Indian Creek actually has more trees than they've had that I've ever seen down there. They've got about 25 trees, which is really good for them. And Center Grove, I would say maybe 150 trees, which is probably about 400 trees less than we typically have there. So I don't know what's going on up there. I've had more Christmas trees up there with Christmas tree lights on them than I've had the whole 7 years I've been doing this. I don't know why people can't take their Christmas tree lights off of their tree. And we took them back to the office and a lot of them worked.
Yeah, which was crazy.
So we took the lights off the trees, took them in, plugged them in, and the lights worked. So I don't get it. They must have more money than I do. So then they've got lots of trash up there. The other day we went up there and something was alive in there and it started moving in the trees and I was screaming and Jesse was in the van and on a phone call and the guy on the other end of the phone yelled while she's screaming at. There was like a squirrel running through the trees while I was going through.
There was a movie about that.
Yeah, I know. My husband said, did you National Lampoon it today?
Well, and I said, well, we know it wasn't a skunk.
Yeah,
So,
well, it was I know. But anyway, so that we're still up there having a lot of trees left in bags, lots of twine. I have found more Christmas tree ornaments this year than I have in the past. But other than that, it's going pretty good.
Hmm.
So
I guess that'll be a continuing saga.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll go check it tomorrow and hopefully it'll be nice and clean. But I did, talk to the Center Grove police officers and they have started the
Police it.
policing it for me. And I'm going to go take them a treat tomorrow, so.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good.
Any questions about the trees?
Good job.
All right,
That all, Jess?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I do think that a lot of new people maybe have trees, which is why we are seeing things like lights, things that we've never seen, and, you know, the regulars kind of already know what to do. So I do hope that this is not a continuing factor, because with only 2 people to go through all those trees, if it does grow the program, we'll start running into some issues. So we will definitely continue to educate that way. It'll be very interesting to find out what we see from Josh, because he does collect them as well for us. So we'll get some numbers from him and just kind of see where that lands.
All right.
I'd like to know your definition of new.
New people.
Yeah, what's your definition of new people?
Oh, I mean, getting Christmas trees that aren't fake. So getting real trees. So they're not thinking about all that, you know, because when you put away your fake
Not
tree.
real trees with lights left on them. not
Yeah.
People, but just real trees.
Yeah, real trees, but with lights. I'm just thinking,
I think we're
I gotta,
recycling.
yeah,
It's
I gotta
just-
think through this whole ideology of leaving lights on a real tree. Like, I just have to give some excuse, because I can't fathom
Stuck
it.
by the needles, I
That's
guess.
why I was asking for definition.
Yeah,
I have to, it's just the way I'm made.
I just can't. And when I found out that they worked, you should have seen our faces. I was like,
Maybe we should have a gently used Christmas tree light.
For recycling.
For recycling.
Yeah.
Put the money in for Christmas lights. Okay, one man's junk, another man's treasure.
yeah,
Thank you, Jess.
yes.
You can donate them to the city of Greenwood. We'll use extra lights down at the park.
There you go.
There you go.
I like that, Mayor.
Reusing.
Yeah.
Hey, we're trying to make it bigger every year. We got to compete with that little place across the street from you guys.
Here we go. It's good to get it out right at the first of the year, no mayors.
Oh, and that's yours, by the way, isn't it? You guys own the courthouse.
How you doing, Mayor Meyer?
I'm excellent.
Legal report.
Yes, sir. You have before you 2 items that you see every year, so I don't think anyone will be surprised. The first thing is the resolution complying with the anti-nepotism law. Back in 2012, the legislature passed a statute that requires all governmental entities to indicate that they will comply with the anti-nepotism law, and you're circulating certification. I believe Carla provided that to you. We also comply with the statute with regard to direct hiring. To my knowledge, none of the board members are direct supervisors over any of our employees. And so I would ask for your consideration in executing those and providing those to the district, because Jesse will do an internal controls review at our March meeting. The second resolution before you for your consideration is the resolution authorizing the payment of prepayment of designated claims. As you know, from review of your claims every quarter, there are certain regular and routine expenses that we have when we went to quarterly meetings rather than monthly meetings. Some of those are due within 30 days. And so this is the resolution that authorizes Carla and Jesse to pay those regular claims, subject to obviously tax review and then your ratification goes to the next regular scheduled meeting. So those are the 2 resolutions for your consideration today.
Okay, we usually have a full board present, and we usually sign them right here and turn them back in. But
Right.
Ryan's got some, I've got some right here.
Yeah,
So-
so if we pass the resolution with the quorum that you have here today, then Carla can just follow up with each person who's designated.
Okay.
And we will have a new designated council member too, so that way we won't have to have it back on the agenda unless we have a problem.
So we'll just need action on this.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Lynn, can those be emailed in, or does she need the actual signature?
You can email them under the governor's existing ex.
Okay.
I'd need a motion on that. If we accept both these, we can roll them both into one.
Mhm.
One
I'll
motion.
make the motion.
Well, on the resolution on the anti-nepotism or on
Both.
on both?
Both.
If you just recite resolution, the anti-nepotism is resolution 2021-01, and the other resolution is 2021-02.
Mayor Myers put a motion on the floor.
Yes, I make the motion for resolution 2021-01 and resolution 2021-02 to be approved.
Have a first and a second. Mr. Lexi,
Aye on both.
Mayor Myers,
Aye on both.
Commissioner Barrett,
5 times 2.
and the chair votes yes. Carries 4-0 on both resolutions.
Thank you, gentlemen. I have nothing further.
Nothing else from legal?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Any old business? Seeing none, we'll continue to move on. New business, next executive board meeting will be March 8th, 2021 at 1:30 and same place. Annex. Anybody else got any new business? No, we're moving right along.
Do we have to do conflict of interest?
You got public comment yet?
Conflict of interest.
On,
Do we have to do one of those now at the first meeting?
not that I'm aware of, do we have covered it?
Well, we'll do our financial meeting here in a minute.
Okay, we can do it. Are you talking about the typical stand up and disclose what interest you have?
That's after we close
We do
this
that.
one and
Yeah,
open
We
but
it
do
up.
it our
this one
financial
started,
board
yeah.
meeting, that's what we typically do. Yes, sir. Could you tell that, like, even with my mask on, I look at Dave?
Yeah, I think we're all
At the next
there.
meeting, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have no other, any public comment? Wow, we kind of smoothed into this meeting.
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion
Second.
and we have 2 seconds. Meeting is adjourned. David, thank you for showing up.
Well, no, wait, wait,
Oh,
wait, wait.
Oh, I got to call
Stay,
him.
David, please.
Please, yeah.
Say,
Thanks for, okay.
we got the
Always thank you.
Finance.
finance board for the Johnson County Solid Waste Department. Want to call that order? Okay, we'll call that meeting to order now.
All right.
We lost video.
Lost our video?
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
We're good.
Trying to get it back, but we're still recording.
You can't see us, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
We still look the same.
It says Chris Williams across the screen.
Yeah, that-
That's our IT director.
Okay.
He's working on
Roll call.
it. Roll call.
Mark Myers,
Present.
Don West, Kevin Walls,
Present.
Brian Baird,
Present.
David Lexi,
Present.
Don Graham. Sir, we have a quorum.
I got the form. All right. First thing we'll do is election of officers. Do we have a slate? Does anybody know what that slate is?
Yes,
That's
and
you.
it's been the practice to just reappoint the same directors for the finance board as well, but you certainly can do whatever you wish to do.
If you would bring that slate forward, do you know what that is?
That slate would be the same as you just elected, I believe.
It stays the same?
That would be Chair Mark Myers, Vice Chair Kevin Walls, and Secretary Ron West.
Move to approve.
You're
A
too.
second.
You got a second pretty quick, didn't
We got a first and a second on the floor. Mr. Lexi, your vote.
Aye.
Mayor Myers,
Aye.
Mr. Baird.
you? All right.
I'll vote aye also.
It could make it a little more exciting.
Yeah. Okay, move on with that. Discussion of financial depositories.
Our finance is First Merchants Bank, they have our checking accounts. They are an Indiana bank approved by the state of Indiana. And I'm on the board of directors of First Merchants Bank, sit on the audit committee and
Thank you. Now I can.
so I would suggest that they would stay our financial institution.
They've acted as that in the past, we've had no problems with that.
And are you continuing to be on board of directors?
Yes.
That's right. I'm on the board of directors, I'm on the audit committee and risk and credit policy.
And that doesn't take any action, does it? That's just
That just, do we need to?
information.
Yeah, it's for information
Okay.
purposes, but in the past, I think we have had a motion to approve the continued use to them, just because it requires a statute for us to disclose it, so we usually have a motion to continue through.
So moved.
Got a motion on the floor?
Second.
All right, we got first and a second. Mr. Lexi, how would be your vote?
Aye.
Mayor Myers?
Aye.
Commissioner Baird?
Aye.
How about aye? 4-0, everything stays the same. First Merchants will be the depository.
We're good?
And that concludes that meeting.
Yes, it does.
Do I need an adjourn?
Yeah.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second from the chair.
Thank
All in
you.
favor of adjournment? Aye.
Me too.
One.
Aye.
We will call on that.
Yeah, you do not.
All right.
You don't have to really do this.
I'll see you in March.
You don't have to, really.
Motion and second.
Sure, it's one thing.
Yeah.
Robert's rule.
But Pat did bring up a good question, and I asked Jesse to do it. Well, it's probably been a while since we've done a statement of conflict of interest, or there isn't any. So we'll bring it back when we do our internal controls in March, if I sign off on it.